So, what are we talking about today? Today, we're here to talk about the 2004 horror film Hotel. It's a weird one. It's in German and takes place in a little rural village, I assume in Germany or Austria. And it's kind of weird. It's nominally a horror film, but it really doesn't kind of get off the ground in the typical way that a horror film does. What do I mean by that? Well, you might say that nothing happens, but in a really creepy way. Maybe not even really creepy. No, strike that. Nothing happens, but in a creepy way. Yeah. It certainly gives me flashbacks to working menial jobs. There's a certain level of implicit, inherent horror baked into that. But it's really, well, I've seen other people describe it as being a slow burn. I'm not even sure it slowly burns. I'm not even sure it burns at all. Does that mean I didn't like it? No, actually, I really liked it in a weird way. It left me wanting a lot more, but feeling oddly satisfied, like eating a strange food that you kind of enjoyed the taste, not sure what that aftertaste was, not sure if I want more right now, but might come back for it later. I certainly think about recommending this film to my father who loves foreign films. I gotta imagine this will be right up his alley, even though he doesn't like science fiction or horror. I mean, ultimately, this is at least implied to be some sort of witch story. Um, and I think it does a pretty good job of that. Where the film really shines is its ability to consistently and constantly keep things on edge. You never feel comfortable, and the whole thing feels real. The protagonist, a young woman who has come to work in a small rural hotel, you feel for her. You relate to her. She's not very emotive, but you can relate to her experiences, and especially as someone in their early 20s or late teens who's had a job with very little power. I think people with that kind of experience are gonna see this as being very reflective of reality. So in addition to this kind of constant unpleasant feeling, everyone in the film, well, almost everyone in the film is pretty passive aggressive. Nobody's nice to her except maybe the young man she briefly dates. Everyone's pretty aggressive in a passive kind of way. There's even a scene where she and this young man go dancing, and another man kind of starts dancing near her and trying to push her would be boyfriend away, and there's almost a fight, but it never really boils over. Maybe that's kind of reflective of the movie itself. This constant tension, this palpable upsettingness that's almost about to crescendo, but then doesn't. You know, I'm left with this feeling of what exactly was going on here. Was there a supernatural element? Is there some sort of spooky violence? I mean, to that question, the answer has to be yes. There is a constant level of violence. It's passive, at least the overt, the stuff you see, but behind that is the disappearance of a previous lady, an implied murder or potential murder, a dredging of a pond. I mean, I think we all know what they're looking for, and they're looking for the dead body here, right? But tough to find, tough to really pinpoint. And then in terms of this witch, there's a cave. There's a little witch doll that shows up unexpectedly and unwelcomed. And so so you're kind of along for the ride with the protagonist, with this young lady who's working at this hotel, obviously uncomfortable and being threatened. I was going to say progressively threatened to a higher degree, but I'm not even sure I can go that far. It's more just this constant upsetting environment that this person is in, and through no fault of her own, is exposed to. Another interesting thing about it, lending credence to the thought that there is some sort of malevolence, there is some sort of supernatural spirit, is the constant refrain back to her necklace, which is of a crucifix, and it disappears, it shows back up, and it seems to be some sort of protective influence, or at least an implied protective influence, but whether that's actually the case or not, like much of the film, it's left to the viewer's discretion. It's left to the viewer's mind, and that's really, I think, a lot of what this experience is about. Experiencing the unpleasantness of being isolated, alone in a foreign environment with very little power, and a kind of suffocating, low-grade, absurd formality, where this protagonist, this young woman, is trying to figure things out on a daily basis, trying to get through her days, in an environment that is really unpleasant, that is isolated. So you've got this little hotel in a rural area, where there's a forest and a valley, and there are people, but she finds herself very much alone. Much of her experience is alone, and the times where there are other people, it would seem often are unpleasant or end unsatisfyingly. So would I recommend this film? Well, yeah, I think I would. It's a weird one. It's a weird little unpolished gem, and I think that's kind of the point. You kind of, it doesn't overstay its welcome either. It's a pretty short film, and it does its job. It's creepy in a very understated, slow burn or even no burn kind of way, and it left me pondering. I really had to think about, what do I think about this? What do I think about this ending? I won't wreck it here, but I want in the final moments of the film, I kind of wondered, well, what if it does end that way, and then it did, and I wasn't disappointed. I felt I don't know if I got what I was expecting. I didn't get what I was expecting, but I wasn't upset about it either. I got a different kind of experience, and one that maybe will give me better review potential than something a little splashier, a little more in your face. So the good news is it just got re-released on Blu Ray by Vinegar Syndrome, and it comes with a really nice little limited edition slipcover, which is pretty creepy. It's all kind of red and black, and then on the back is a little picture of a kind of a face with glasses. I thought the whole thing was a very pretty package, and it drew me in, and I'm happy it did. I walked into my local movie retailer. I don't think you'll find this everywhere, but places that sell kind of off the beaten track movies, you might find it, and it certainly presents well on the shelf. It's a nice addition to my collection, and I was looking for, I'm doing this recording on October 5th, and I was looking for something spooky, something horror, leading into the month of Halloween, and I think I found it. So it's been a good purchase. I'm happy with it, and if you're looking for something that's different, foreign language film, isolating experience, passive aggressive, some element of supernatural horror, I think this one might be right for you. So think about checking it out. Think about adding this issue to your collection. So with that, thanks for listening. And if you liked it, leave a review, leave a comment, not a review here, and take a look at the other reviews I've got on this channel. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.